Heian-kyō, the capital of peace, a world of layered silk, incense, poetry contests, and quiet political intrigue. But behind the elegance was a life structured by ritual, superstition, astrology, and strict social expectations. From the moment a noble child was born to the moment their body was carried to Toribeno for cremation. Today we'll explore a full day in the life of a Heian aristocrat, and also the full arc of their life. How they were born, how they played, how they loved, how they aged, and how they finally left the world. A Heian noble's day began surprisingly early, around 3 a.m., long before sunrise. This wasn't for productivity, it was because the imperial palace gates opened at dawn, and nobles had to prepare themselves in time for court duties and auspicious rituals. The first task, a ritual rooted in Hokuto Shinko, the worship of the Big Dipper. Nobles whispered their star name 7 times to align their fate with the heavens. Then came the daily review of the court calendar. Which directions are dangerous today? Which actions are forbidden? Should one remain inside for monoimi, ritual seclusion? A single inauspicious day could shut down a noble's entire schedule. Hygiene followed strict ritual rules. Bathing and hair washing could only be done on auspicious days. So many nobles went days without washing. Clothing was essential to status. Layered robes, specific colors, and perfumes to define one's presence in the room. Breakfast? Barely a meal, just a light snack, similar to a sweet or small rice item. A noble's real meals would come later. By sunrise, nobles were fully dressed and ready for their responsibilities. But work didn't always mean what you might imagine. For high-ranking nobles, poetry composing, attending ceremonies, playing music, overseeing rituals. For lower-ranking nobles and attendants, cleaning palace corridors, opening and closing gates, carrying messages, preparing documents, night patrols. The palace was a place of both refined art and endless bureaucracy. Heian nobles loved games, and many survive even today. Famous pastimes included kamari, court soccer, kaiawase, shell matching, sugoroku, board games, go and shogi, falconry, horse racing. These were more than games, they were networking tools. A noble who played well impressed the right people. Around noon came the first substantial meal. Dishes included rice, vegetables, pickles, and sometimes fish, depending on the season and purity restrictions. Afternoons were often devoted to writing, letters, poetry replies, official documents, love notes. Writing elegant kana was considered more attractive than one's physical appearance. Around 4 p.m., nobles took a second meal, rice with side dishes and sweetened items. Evening was prime time for musical performances, poetry contests, romantic visits, small banquets, court meetings, astrology consultations. The atmosphere was filled with incense, dim light, and quiet elegance. Heian romance was unlike anything today. Women did not appear openly in front of men. Courtship began with letters and poems sent over days or weeks. Then came the famous custom, Misidokoro marriage, where a man visited a woman's residence at night. If he came 3 nights in a row and the couple shared the traditional third-night mochi, their marriage was considered official. Birth was considered extremely impure. Mothers gave birth in a separate hut, the ubuya. Soon after came childhood rituals, kamioki, age approximately 3, placing white hair to symbolize long life. Hakama-gi, 3 to 7, child wears a hakama for the first time, the origin of modern shichigo-san. Children of noble families were pampered, educated in poetry, etiquette, and court customs. Around 11 to 17, boys underwent genpuku. Their hair was tied differently, and they began wearing adult caps. Girls, around 12 to 14, had mogi, where they wore formal skirts, mo, for the first time, and adopted adult cosmetics, ohaguro, blackening teeth, hikimayu, shaved and redrawn eyebrows. From this moment, they were adults. Marriage shapes the social world of the Heian elite. Early Heian, tsumatoi, the man visits the woman. Middle Heian, muko-iri, the man moves into the woman's home. Late Heian, yome-iri, the woman moves to the husband's home. the system reflected family power and politics. Despite the beauty of their world, Heian nobles faced frequent health problems. Average lifespan: men, approximately 50, women, approximately 40. Causes included low sanitation, limited bathing, beriberi from vitamin B1 deficiency, malnutrition, constant indoor lifestyle. Reaching 40 was so rare that it was a celebrated milestone called Sangha. Famous poet Fujiwara no Toshinari lived to 91, an almost miraculous age. Toward the end of life, many nobles chose shuke, renouncing the world and becoming monks. But some, like the powerful Fujiwara no Michinaga, still wielded influence even after ordination. Funeral practices evolved over time. Cremation became popular among aristocrats. Smoke rising symbolized the final passage from this world. Kyoto's main burial grounds included Toribeno, a quiet hillside where countless nobles were laid to rest. Some resisted cremation. Fujiwara no Teishi, for example, requested burial instead. A Heian noble's life was a careful dance of ritual and beauty, governed by stars, seasons, etiquette, and poetry. From their earliest childhood ceremonies to their nighttime letters of love, from incense-scented banquets to the final smoke rising at Toribeno, every moment was shaped by tradition, superstition, and the quiet rhythm of the court. Their world is long gone, but through literature, ritual, and surviving paintings, we can still feel the faint elegance of their lives. If you enjoyed this journey into Japan's hidden past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.